Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks! What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my top 5 most carried EDC folding knives over the last month or two. Now this changes a lot. If you're familiar with my channel, you know that I own a lot of knives. So the top 5 that I'm carrying rotate a lot. A lot of times the heaviest hitters stay, episode after episode after episode, and some of the knives here actually have stayed. So I'm excited to share this with you guys. Thanks so much to my patrons for supporting me, and please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. Now, I don't want to imply that these knives are the most carried by the general population of the knife community. Not at all. These are knives that I like to carry, and I like to update my audience periodically. So starting off here with number 5, a knife that I just got, and that's the Microtech MSI. This knife, the only reason it hasn't been, it's not higher on the list is because I literally just got it. I've had it for like maybe 5 days. I love this knife. I absolutely love the Microtech MSI. One of the best things about it, this is a US made Microtech, and the G10 versions come in something like $250, which is not only a good deal for an American pocket knife, especially one that's utilizing this ram lock here, M390, well, they call it M390 MK, which is essentially M390 with a top hat, right? But it's got a bunch of Microtechiness, and it's made extremely well here in the United States. In 2023, Microtech is charging only $250 for a pocket knife. That's mind-blowing. You can also get the injection mold plastic variants of this knife that still have the M390 MK steel for about $173. These are actually much more available now than they have been in the past. So I'm going to urge you guys to check the links I have down in the description if you've been hunting one of these, because there's a decent chance if you check back that you'll find one. I would also suggest you guys, I think that these are going to become extremely customizable in the future. I think the secondary market is going to be the aftermarket for the Microtech MSI is going to be very, very cool in the coming months and years. So if you plan to change the scales out, go ahead and pick up one of the plastic scale ones, because I think there's some companies who are going to be making some cool stuff for these. So this knife is awesome to utilize whether you are right or left-handed, because of course the ram lock is able to be utilized by people who are right or left-handed. I heard a few, people saying that their ram locks were like disengaging, or that they weren't I have not had that experience. I've got 2 knives that I actually EDC that have the ram lock. They are completely solid. They are very easy to disengage, and I have no issues whatsoever. This version with the Frag G10 is really cool, but they have a lot of different versions. The pocket clip is all right. It's kind of weird with the divot and the bill on there, but honestly, that's a small price to pay for what you're getting with this knife. Really fun, really great EDC knife. I love it. Moving on here to, I guess it'd be number 4, and that's going to be my Demko AD10 with the original GOAT titanium scales. Oh my gosh. Guys, I know everybody's like, oh, he just discovered original GOAT and now it's like the greatest thing in the whole world. I know I'm behind everybody else. Thanks to my audience who has been pleading me to check out original GOAT scales for at least 6 months. I have checked them out. And I'm very happy to say that you guys were all right. This company, Original GOAT, makes some of the nicest aftermarket scales that I have ever seen, and they're doing it in the USA, which is amazing. These are, in the case of the AD10, these are not flat scales. These are contoured, textured titanium scales, which is not something that is cheap to do, especially when you consider the cost of the machines that are doing this. There's a huge difference between machines that just make flat pieces of material, or, mill flat pieces of material, versus machines that can contour materials like titanium and then texture it with laser precision. So that's pretty cool. These turn this knife into an absolute beast. As you can imagine, they also replace the scales underneath. The grip on this is phenomenal. I cannot tell you how high quality, not that the AD10 felt like a knife that was lacking in quality to begin with, but the quality that is oozing off of this knife, right? This feels like some sort of $800 or $900 semi-custom now. It really, honestly, I mean, like, you know, I know that Demko makes the custom or the semi-custom 8010. I feel like, because I've got a Midtech 8020, I feel like I wouldn't necessarily be able to immediately tell the difference between this and the super expensive USA variant right off the bat. I know some of you guys are wondering about the clip. This clip makes a huge difference, because let me tell you something. This clip blows. This is the dumbest little, stupid little rectangle. I hate that clip. I hate it. If you can find a way to replace it however you want, then I absolutely recommend that you do. I picked this beauty up from Pop's Custom Clips on Etsy. It took a little bit to get to me, but it has made a huge difference. I wish that it wasn't quite so far back, but you know what? I'll take it. It's substantially better than the clip it comes with. I love carrying this knife. The only reason it's lower on the list is because it's huge, and the scales definitely add weight to it. Fortunately, you can get aluminum scales if you don't want to go quite as heavy as titanium, but man, if you're trying to build the ultimate apocalypse knife, but you don't want it to be, you know, Espada XL huge or, you know, Formax huge, the 8010 is right there, especially with the titanium scales. Combination, of course, with the Triad Lock. That is one heck of an ultimate EDC knife, right? This is about as big as I can stand to carry for EDC. Moving on here to number 3. Another recent acquisition, but man, it has dominated my pockets, and that's the Microtech Ramlock Stitch. Definitely still harder to get than the MSI, absolutely. But do I think these are going to be easier to get in the future? Yes. And remember, this video is not knives I love to carry that are absolutely 100% available. No, that's not really how I do these. I carry whatever I like to carry based on what I have. And I know the Microtech Stitch, the Ramlock Stitch is not a knife that's easy to get right now, but I think it will be. I think Microtech has figured out that people want these things, and everybody likes to assume that Microtech sits, you know, during a, you know, Tony Marfione and a bunch of other suits with hoods sit at a giant oak table with a thunderstorm in the background, clicking their fingers together. Yes, let's make slightly less than what the demand is on purpose. As the lightning cry. No, that's not what they're doing. They've got a ton of models. They're trying to keep up, manufacture, and fulfill orders through all the countless retailers that order their stuff, right? They make so many knives, and at the same time, they're trying to pump these out and reach demand right now. It always takes a little bit when a company, even the size of Microtech, comes up with a new product that's like really, really popular. It takes a little bit for them to catch up to demand, and that's what they're doing right now. At the rate that they are pumping these out to retailers, I have seen so many of these things drop at various retailers, and yes, they sell out immediately, but think about this. All of the different retailers that are getting groups, big chunks of these things multiple times a month. Microtech is trying. In the near future, these will be available in multiple colors, multiple texture patterns. They kind of already are. I'll link these things down below so that you guys can check, but hey, keep trying, you'll get one. This one looks a little bit weird, and I'll tell you why. It's one of the first 59 made. I think the serial number on it is actually 59, right? So it has the older clip, not the new clip that looks just like this. It also has the older, wider ram lock, and this is no different in terms of the amount of contact that is on the blade because the thickness of it is the same. It's just that the buttons are slightly wider. They changed this. It also does not have, this version does not have the ambidextrous clip mounting position. So if you pick up a ram lock in the future, it will absolutely be a little bit different than this, but man, is it amazing to finally have a manually operating stitch that it doesn't cost multiple thousands of dollars, which I do have, by the way. But this version of it coming in at $300, I don't think that's bad at all, especially considering it's a Microtech. We have huge chunks of contoured and really nicely done G10 scales. We've got some steel liners, and we have this awesome sort of sharpened arrowhead blade. The ergonomics are on this knife are fantastic, and honestly, that's, aside from the look, the reason that I wanted this knife so badly is for the ergonomics. Manipulating it like this is just an absolute joy, and because of the weight of the blade, I think it manipulates actually a little bit easier than the MSI. Very, very fun. Super thick behind the edge, and that blade is not the best thing at breaking down cardboard boxes. I don't care. I love this knife. It's awesome. Moving on here to number 2. This one's certainly a champion. It's made it on this list a few times now, and that's the Olone Goat Axle. Oh my goodness. This is probably my favorite, you know, if I'm really like, listen, I need a knife that's not only nice and easy to manipulate, but is purpose built. That blade is very, very purpose built. This is actually done by Riot. I think this is their first crossbar lock, and they use Omega springs that are high tension. So not only is the lock secure, but the pullback and release, the tension on those Omega springs makes it feel super high quality versus companies like Benchmade who really have some catching up to do. The blade is also beautiful. Flat ground drop point really makes me think of the Sebenza and the ergonomics. While, you know, the overall look seems to be borrowing elements from a million different knives, and that's true. It's because these are some of the most classic handle and blade profiles ever. So you can scream copy of the Bug Out all you want, but if you think that the Bug Out is an original design, you haven't been here very long, right? I mean, ask cavemen. They carved rocks into knives that look like the Bug Out, and I promise you they made those first, right? But yeah, it works. It's fantastic. The pocket clip is fantastic. The positioning of everything is great. I only wish that they had included a mounting position for left-handed people, because left-handed people are missing out on this. This is a truly wonderful knife. It also runs on phosphor bronze washers, titanium and micarta in this case. I think you can get it in G10, but at the price range, I would honestly suggest people hold out for a titanium one. I can almost guarantee that more of these are coming. I don't think that they're super available right now, but more of them are definitely coming. So definitely one of my favorites. And then moving on to the knife that I have carried more than anything else over the last couple of months, that's the Flytanium and Demko Arcade. If you have not picked up one of these knives, I mean, it's expensive, right? So I can understand why people have it. But if you have not picked one of these knives up yet, you are missing out. This is S35VN, comes with a shark lock. These are, originally I thought it was titanium. These are aluminum, and in this case we have G10. It also comes with, they come with this. They come with 2 sets of scales. So this one came with the micarta scales. I took them out and put the G10 ones in because I just thought they looked a little bit better, right? But that's pretty cool. Taiwan manufacturing, a lot of people think that that's the same thing as China. It's not. If you didn't know this, manufacturing something in Taiwan is substantially more expensive than manufacturing something in China. These are made in Taiwan. That's important to note. On top of that, this is S35VN, not Taiwanese S35VN, not Chinese S35VN. It's S35VN, which means it only comes from one place, and that's Crucible. So the steel is from the USA. You have wonderful manipulation with the shark lock, of course, the same exact strength, if not more, than the Triad lock. Yes, that's true for people who don't know. This is Andrew Demko. He's the person who invented the Triad lock. So you're getting the same thing, except it's way easier to manipulate. It's also super easy to manipulate. I mean, as a right-handed person, manipulating this knife with my left hand, even though I missed that one, is actually really simple. The pocket clip position and shape is really, really great. Overall, it's just a really, really good EDC knife with great ergonomics, right? A little bit sharp at the edges, but not too bad, and a good choke up spot. I love my AD 20.5. I love it, but I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I think I like the Flytanium and Demko Arcade a little bit better. These are available in a lot of different configurations. If you don't like this plain gray man look, you can get something with a little bit more color. I think they do them in OD green and black blades and all of that. I'm certain we're gonna see various different blade shapes in the future, but for now, this is kind of how they look, and it's a wonderful EDC. In my opinion, well worth the money. So let's go back over these again. We have the Flytanium and Demko Arcade. We have the Olone Goat Axle right here, very good. We have the Microtech Ramlock Stitch. We have the Demko, the Cold Steel Demko 8010 with the original Goat titanium scales. And then we have the Microtech MSI, or Microtech Standard Issue, which I think I didn't mention when I first started talking about it. So like I said, links for everything that's available, I'll put right down in the description. You guys can check it out. These are my top 5 most carried knives over the last couple of months. That's going to be pretty much it today, guys. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.